Imagine standing alone on a misty battlefield, the ground still scarred from cannon fire, and suddenly you hear the clatter of hooves and the steady march of soldiers, but when you turn, there's nothing there, only empty fields stretching into the fog. For over a century, witnesses across America have reported eerie sightings of ghostly troops marching through the sites of Civil War battles, leaving many to wonder, are these the spirits of soldiers trapped forever in the horrors of war? Today, we're diving into the chilling accounts of the phantom soldiers of the American Civil War, a phenomenon that continues to baffle historians and thrill ghost hunters alike. Eyewitness reports are both numerous and consistent. One of the most famous came from a resident near Gettysburg, the late 19th century. She claimed to have seen columns of Union and Confederate soldiers marching silently across the fields at dawn, their faces pale and distant, uniforms tattered as if stained with blood. These apparitions reportedly carried muskets, banners, and even wagons filled with supplies, moving in perfect formation despite the fact that the battle had ended decades earlier. Locals who observed these ghostly parades often described a sense of overwhelming sorrow, as if the soldiers were reenacting their final, doomed advance. Gettysburg isn't the only place haunted by these spectral troops. In the heart of Virginia, near the site of the Battle of Bull Run, residents have recounted seeing cavalrymen riding across open fields at night, their horses' hooves silent against the soft earth. Some claim the soldiers vanished before their eyes, leaving only a cold mist in the air. Others reported hearing the low, mournful toll of bugle calls echoing through the valleys. Although no band or instruments were in sight, paranormal investigators suggest that the intense emotional energy from the massive loss of life during the war may have imprinted itself onto these sites, replaying the battle over and over. For those sensitive enough to witness it, eyewitnesses aren't always alone. In Tennessee, a group of hikers exploring the Chickamauga battlefield described being surrounded by what they initially thought were reenactors. As they got closer, the figures began to shimmer and fade, their movements strangely mechanical, as if following a script written long ago. One of the hikers later admitted that they felt an invisible weight pressing down, a feeling of watching history unfold firsthand and being completely powerless to intervene. Stories like these have been passed down for generations, and each new account adds layers to the mystery. Even soldiers themselves have reported encounters with phantom troops. During the early 20th century, National Guard units training on former battlefields claimed to see formations appear out of the morning fog. Some reported soldiers appearing in full 1860s uniforms, rifles in hand, marching in perfect order, then disappearing into the trees without a sound. These sightings often left witnesses shaken, and many refused to discuss them openly for fear of ridicule. The phenomenon isn't isolated to any one side of the conflict either. Both Union and Confederate troops are said to haunt the same fields, their spectral presence a stark reminder of the shared tragedy of war. Historians and paranormal experts have tried to explain these occurrences. Some suggest they are hallucinations caused by the mind's attempt to reconcile with the immense human cost of the Civil War. Others argue that ley lines or residual energy could play a role, leaving behind echoes of past violence that occasionally become visible to the living. But skepticism hasn't diminished the reports, nor has it dampened the fascination. Photographs and sketches from the late 1800s and early 1900s even depict faint images of soldiers marching where none should exist, lending an eerie visual element to the oral accounts. The allure of these phantom soldiers lies not just in their ghostly appearance, but in the stories they tell about humanity, loss, and memory. They are not malevolent spirits, but rather silent witnesses to history, eternally replaying the moments that defined a nation. For many who have encountered them, the experience is a mix of fear and reverence, a chilling reminder that some events leave an imprint that transcends time. If you ever find yourself wandering a Civil War battlefield at dusk, take a moment to listen. The wind through the trees, the soft rustle of leaves, even the faint clop of hooves might just be more than your imagination. The phantom soldiers could be marching nearby, reenacting battles long past, reminding us of the sacrifices that shaped the country. So, The next time you read about a Civil War battle, remember, history isn't always buried in books and monuments. Sometimes it walks beside you unseen. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that uncover the dark, forgotten corners of history.